Okay, so we all know that the genes in our body make us who we are. But what we don't know necessarily is that the genes in our body aren't all that make us who we are. I'm going to tell you about epigenetics, a whole nother level of genetics. It's important that you know what I mean when I talk about epigenetics. And so I'm going to take a bit of time right now to outline for you what epigenetics really are. It is the study of how our genes are used and do different things without ever actually changing. Terminology. You're going to need to know some to understand epigenetics. Hey, what's a genotype? Genotype. The unique set of genes of an organism. We're talking about the micromolecular level, people. Hey, what's a phenotype? Phenotype. This is what you can see with the unaided human eye. It's a result of an organism's genotype and the environment. The environment part is the epigenetic part, the on top of genetic part. What is it that makes a pluripotent stem cell turn into a heart cell muscle? It's the same genetic code as my fingernail, but it's doing a different thing. It's making my body move. What is it in the environment that's made that happen? I'll tell you. It's something outside of our current human knowledge. This is where the etymology of the word epigenetics comes into play. Now, at the start of the word, you have epi, the Greek prefix, meaning in addition to or on top of. Next, of course, you have genetics, which is the genetic code, which is your identity. What this means is that there are other forces at work than the genes themselves. On a molecular level, let's say, there are epigenetic traits, and these traits exist on top of the genetic code. But hey, don't my genes never change? It is true that your genes never change. What changes is the way that they are expressed. Think about this. When you're conceived, you come from one egg cell. So when you start off, you're one cell. That one cell has your DNA, your identity, we'll call it. Now, as that cell grows into a fetus, grows into a body, different things are created. Skin, for one, your teeth, your bones, hair. Now, why is it that if your cell has that one genetic code, that those different things can be created? They're not the same, they're different. That is gene expression. Alright, dude, you're probably going to want to know how this all works. So I'm going to break down for you one of the mechanisms of gene expression. And so what I'm saying is, how does epigenetics work? It's called methylation! These things called methyl groups, they attach to specific parts of the DNA. What happens is, the cell can't read the parts the methyl group is attached to. It's making the instructions of the genes more specific. So methyl groups. This is what they look like when you write them on paper. That's the methyl group. That's the double helix DNA strand. So these methyl groups will attach to specific nucleotides on the DNA strands. This will affect what that DNA cells will create and what they will do. Part of creating the phenotype. Now, before we go on, there's something you should know about methylation. It can be good or bad. An example where methylation is a good thing is, for instance, with your skin cells. The bone alleles for your skin cells have been methylized. Therefore, when your skin cells are killed or die for whatever reason, they regenerate new skin cells, not a bone cell. Imagine if every time you got a scar, your skins were hard because of the bone. Here's an example of when methylation is a bad thing. Here we go. Alright, what if you ingest toxins into your bloodstream? Like right there. These toxins could methylate your hair cells. Your body could stop producing hair. Then you would have no hair! But all jokes aside, people, in a world where increased toxins have become a reality, epigenetic knowledge is profoundly important. Changes in our environment are affecting us in ways we do not yet understand. But epigenetic research may hold the potential to aid us in the fight against increasing cancer rates, autism, and diseases such as diabetes. Epigenetics? Yes.